Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 5th of March 2025 and unfortunately guys, the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market is definitely not looking good, and one of the reasons why the prices are going down is because President Donald Trump is imposing heavy tariffs. Now look guys, according to me tariffs is not the problem, but the way how mainstream media is portraying tariffs, that is creating a lot of unnecessary panic, and because of that guys, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have been falling down. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and very briefly touch base on the different tariffs President Donald Trump has in Canada and Mexico, China, as well as tariffs on steel and aluminium. And then guys, what I'll do is, I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on why tariffs is actually a good thing, especially if you're an American. Because look guys, the whole point of tariff is to go ahead and protect domestic industries. And in implementing tariffs, guys, President Donald Trump wants to go ahead and reduce trade deficits, and he wants to go ahead and encourage fair trade practices. And more importantly, guys, what mainstream media is now talking about, President Donald Trump is focusing more on reciprocal tariffs, which means whatever tariffs you have, United States of America is going to match the same tariffs. But unfortunately, guys, because of how mainstream media is portraying this news, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have been falling down. Now, apart from that, guys, President Donald Trump will be addressing a joint session of Congress members, and I cannot stress this enough guys, go ahead and listen to his entire speech, cause look, mainstream media is only going to cherry pick the information, edit it, and then put out a completely fake news narrative, and it is that news that actually drives the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies further down. But nonetheless guys, in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. Now in today's episode guys, we also have some really interesting update by Circle USDC, and it looks like they've been officially approved in Japan, so definitely an interesting move. And just last week, our Circle's USDC and the URC was recognized as stablecoin in Dubai as well, isn't it? So things are definitely looking good for Circle. Now look guys, right now when you talk about Bitcoin, Michael Saylor is probably one of the biggest advocates, isn't it? Me personally, I'm not liking that, and one of the reasons why is because he does post a lot of incorrect and misleading information. But look guys, he did have an interview with CNBC, and he did actually give out a wild prediction, and what he actually said, that there's a very high possibility of Bitcoin's market cap to reach $200 trillion. Now look guys, right now the market cap of Bitcoin is below the $2 trillion mark, so he's actually claiming that the market cap of Bitcoin will actually go more than 100 times. Now I'm not saying that thing will not happen guys, but from $2 trillion to $200 trillion, this is a really massive speculation, and according to me guys, the only reason why he's doing that is he wants to go ahead and drive the demand for Bitcoin, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now the final two news guys I'm going to be talking about should not be surprising. Both the news are connected to the US Security and Exchange Commission, and under the Trump administration guys, the SEC is closing a lot of the investigation, and the first news is regarding Yuga Labs guys, and the SEC has finally decided to end a 3-year probe into Yuga Labs, so we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. And along with that guys, SEC has also decided to go ahead and drop the lawsuit against Kraken, which is one of the oldest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. Now look guys, with the Trump administration in charge, things are definitely looking good so far as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned, and more importantly guys, President Donald Trump's administration is focusing on deregulations, so definitely interesting times ahead. So these are some macro level news guys on the Blockchain DXB podcast. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is connected to artificial intelligence, but it is connected to video solutions and MarTech company guys. They have a project called as AI Vanta, and they are expanding the project to Dubai, and they are bringing AI powered personalized video solutions to the United Arab Emirates. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now the second news guys is all the way from Qatar, and the Qadi Council, that is QRDI, they concluded Web3 Summit Qatar with quite a lot of MOU signings and rising innovative awards, so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss this. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode, As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, look, guys, since the last 48 hours, there is a lot of drama going on in the geopolitical world, isn't it? Now, we know what happened at the Oval Office, and President Zelensky from Ukraine looks like he does not want peace, and President Donald Trump was definitely not happy about it. Now, because of that and many other factors, guys, looks like mainstream media is bashing President Donald Trump once again, and it is only because of that, according to me. The prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have been falling down miserably, and in just a few minutes, guys, we'll go ahead and discuss the misleading information regarding tariffs. Now, if you agree or disagree to my assessment, guys, mention them in the comments below. But before we go ahead and take a deep dive into US tariffs, let's go ahead and look at the global cryptocurrency market, because today it is at $2.87 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.44%. But if you look at the market sentiment, guys, on Monday it was relatively better. Today it is back to fear, and the number associated regarding market sentiment is 25. And what is going to be happening, guys, later on today in the United States of America? President Donald Trump will be addressing Congress, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. Go to the White House YouTube channel and make sure you go and listen to his entire speech and then make up your own mind. Cause look, mainstream media, they got and put out a completely different narrative. So we definitely need to be looking at information from first source, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. Go ahead and make your own opinion after looking at information from first source. And regarding President Donald Trump's speech, guys, the first source of information is the YouTube channel for White House. Now what I'll do, guys, in the episode that I release tomorrow, we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this, and it's going to be really interesting to see, based on his speech, what kind of an impact does it have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is at $166.81 billion, and since the last 24 hours, guys, it is actually down by 3.70%. Now over the weekend, guys, President Donald Trump did actually make two important announcements, isn't it? The first one was regarding a crypto strategic reserve, and the second one is regarding the first ever crypto summit, which is scheduled to take place on the 7th of this month. And I'm pretty much sure, guys, because of that news, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should be impacting positively, isn't it? So these are geopolitical things that you need to be aware of as well, guys. Now going back to the global cryptocurrency snapshot, if you look at the total volume in decentralized finance, it is only at $9.80 billion, and DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for 5.87% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And if you look at the total value locked, guys, it is below the $100 billion mark. It is only at $96.27 billion, and Lido as a protocol is still dominating so far as total value locked is concerned, and the total value locked is $20.41 billion. Now decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, guys, is about the 40% mark. It is at 40.14%. Now let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges. And ever since US Security and Exchange Commission has withdrawn the case against Uniswap, it is back to number one position, and the 24-hour volume is $3.40 billion for Uniswap. The second one is PancakeSwap, and its volume, guys, is $1.25 billion, less than half of that of Uniswap, isn't it? Now the third one, guys, is Meteora, and its 24-hour volume is below the $1 billion mark. It is only at $944.65 million. The fourth one, guys, is Orca. Its market cap is $865.09 million. Now, surprisingly, guys, Radium is at number 5th, and its market cap is well below the $1 billion mark, and it is at $785.67 million. Now, this, to be honest, guys, is definitely not looking good for Solana blockchain. And if you look at the market cap of Solana, guys, it is down to $72 billion. Now, just a little over 3 weeks ago, guys, Radium's 24-hour volume was over $11 billion, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, majority of the volume was because of Pump.Fun. And the day Pump.Fun's volume reached a new all-time high, guys, I did actually state this particular project could actually raise a red flag, because over-reliance on one particular project should not be ideal, particularly in the cryptocurrency space, and looks like that is exactly what you're experiencing right now. But look, guys, the good thing is, in the crypto strategic reserve, Solana Sol is included as well. So at a protocol level, I do think it is relatively safe, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does remain in the top 5 for a very long time. Now let's quickly run through the volume of stable coins, because the volume is only at $155.54 billion, and stable coins, guys, as of today, is accounting for 93.25% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, President Donald Trump will be going live, and he will be addressing Congress, and while that thing is going on, guys, definitely keep an eye on what is going on regarding the 24-hour trading volume. And apart from that, on the 7th, when the crypto summit is taking place, definitely keep an eye on the 24-hour volume, and that would give us a very strong indication as to which direction the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies would be heading towards. Now talking about the 24-hour trading volume, guys, since the last 24 hours, if you look at Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume, it is at $67.95 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $34.44 billion. The dominance of Bitcoin, guys, has actually pumped up, and today it is at 60.26%. But look, guys, when the prices are going down, you don't want the dominance to be increasing. You'd want the dominance to be decreasing at that point of time, but unfortunately that is not the case. And now if you look at Ethereum's dominance as well, it has marginally picked up pace, and today the percentage is at 9.10%. Now unfortunately, guys, Bitcoin's market cap has gone well below the $2 trillion mark. It is only at $1.72 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is well below the $275 billion mark. It is at $261 billion. Now in the blockchain DXB's Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, guys, I tend to look at one new matrix, isn't it? And today I want to look at the top meme tokens by market capitalization. And Doge, guys, is clearly at number 1, and its market cap is at $29.50 billion. Shiba Inu, guys, is at number 2. Its market cap is at $7.68 billion. Pepe Coin today is at number 3. Its market cap is at $2.94 billion. Trump's meme coin, guys, is at number 4, and its market cap is at $2.58 billion. Just a reminder, guys, the day Trump token launched, its market cap did actually reach to $16 billion, and it did actually overtake Shiba Inu and Pepe Coin by a really long margin, but looks like the hype has gradually gone down. Now if you look at the number 5th meme coin, guys, it is Bonk, but its market cap is well below the $1 billion mark. It is at $927 million. Now guys, let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And unfortunately, guys, the price of Bitcoin is once again below the $90,000 mark, and today it is at $86,840. Now over the weekend, guys, when President Donald Trump made the announcement regarding crypto strategic reserve, and the following day when crypto and ARCs, that is David Sachs, did make an announcement regarding crypto summit, the prices of Bitcoin in particular did actually cross the $94,000 mark. So it looks like since the last 48 hours, almost $8,000 has wiped off from the price of Bitcoin. Now if you look at the price of Bitcoin, guys, today it is at $86,840, but since the last 24 hours it is up by 0.85%. But if you look at it from a 7-day period, it is actually down by 1.65%. Ethereum, guys, is at $2,161, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 0.48%, but since the last 7 days, guys, it is actually down by 12.84%. Ripple XRP is at $2.45, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 2.56%. And if you look at the price of Ripple since the last 7 days, guys, it is actually up by 6.89%. Now look, guys, there's a lot of unnecessary drama created regarding President Donald Trump's tariffs, and this is mostly driven by fake news mainstream media, isn't it? Now look, President Donald Trump is definitely going ahead and implementing tariffs, and he has implemented and proposed several tariff actions, guys. Now here's the interesting thing to remember, guys. The aim of the tariff is addressing trade imbalances, national security, and issues like illegal immigration and drug trafficking. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, rather than watching fake news or mainstream media, go to the White House website, just read through the executive actions and tariff related information, and there's also a fact sheet, guys. Make sure you go ahead and read it out, and you would be surprised. Over 90% of the information that mainstream media is putting out is completely misleading or even fake news information. Now regarding tariffs, guys, President Donald Trump is definitely going ahead with that. And regarding Canada and Mexico, President Donald Trump is implementing a 25% tariffs. And regarding China, guys, there is 10% to 20% tariffs. And just a few hours ago, guys, China is hitting back with 15% tariffs. But look, guys, President Donald Trump wants an equal playing field, and according to me, it looks like he's making the perfect move. Now regarding the steel and aluminum industry, guys, there is section 232 tariffs. Now in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, guys, I don't want to go ahead and explain the details regarding these tariffs, but go to the White House website, guys, and just read through the document. And the document, guys, to be honest, is just 1 or 2 pages long. And President Donald Trump has also given his reasoning as to why he's implementing tariffs. Now regarding Canada, Mexico, and China, guys, the reason why he's implementing tariff is because of illegal immigrations, a lot of fentanyl supply, and he did ask Canada, Mexico, and China to go and up the game, but it looks like they're not cooperating enough, and because of that, he's definitely going ahead with his tariffs. Now more importantly, guys, President Donald Trump also has proposed and planned tariffs, and he's focusing on reciprocal tariffs, which is a fair reciprocal plan, to be honest. Now here's the interesting thing regarding European Union. He does want to go ahead and implement 25% tariffs, and regarding agricultural products, guys, from the 2nd of April is when the tariffs will actually go live. Now look, guys, regarding tariffs, there is a bit of misleading information. People are anticipating that the prices to actually pump up, which need not necessarily be true, because look, in implementing these tariffs, guys, President Trump is giving options to business leaders to go ahead and build all of the products in the United States of America, and that is what a lot of companies are actually doing. And TSMC, guys, which is one of the giant companies of our semiconductors concern, they have decided to go ahead and build the operations in the United States of America, and in doing so they're committing to $100 billion worth of investment. And regarding artificial intelligence, guys, President Donald Trump has already confirmed $1.6 trillion investment in the United States of America. So when you talk about tariffs, guys, the whole idea of implementing tariffs is so that CEOs and business leaders all over the world, they've been given an incentive to go out and build things in the United States of America. And if they do that, guys, the tariffs will be completely at zero. So these are things you need to be aware about. But more importantly, guys, when you talk about tariffs, importing tariffs can actually benefit the United States of America in several ways. And this, to be honest, will directly and indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I want to go ahead and touch base on 6 things, guys. The first thing is regarding protecting domestic industries. The second one is reducing trade deficits. The third one is enhancing national security. The fourth one is encouraging fair trade practices. The fifth one is boosting government revenue. And finally, guys, strengthening domestic innovation. Now, these are some of the benefits of imposing tariffs, guys. Now, imagine if mainstream media were actually focusing on this. This would have a positive impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? And that is exactly what I want to go ahead and discuss in today's episode. Now, regarding protecting domestic industries, guys, tariffs makes imported goods more expensive, and this encourages consumers to go ahead and buy American-made products, and this over a long period of time does actually help protect domestic industries from foreign competition, and it does preserve jobs as well as boost local manufacturing. And over a period of time, guys, this will definitely be good not just for the United States of America, but also for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Cause look, President Donald Trump wants to go to make United States of America the capital of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So these are things you need to be aware of as well. Now, regarding reducing trade deficits, guys, this is probably the most important reason why President Donald Trump is importing tariffs. Cause by discouraging imports, guys, tariffs can help balance trade deficits by promoting domestic production and reducing reliance on foreign goods. And yesterday, guys, while the White House channel, I was listening to an interview of President Donald Trump where he actually said what China tends to do is they tend to devalue their own currency, and in doing so, guys, it does become really expensive for other countries. Now, what President Donald Trump wants to do is, in case China goes ahead and devalues the currency, he's just going to go ahead and increase the tariffs, and that does make an equal playing field, isn't it? So according to me, it is definitely a genius move. And regarding enhancing national security, guys, certain industries like steel and semiconductor are extremely critical to national security, and tariffs, guys, can prevent over-reliance on foreign suppliers, thereby ensuring US maintains control over essential resources. And when you talk about encouraging fair trade practices, guys, tariffs can be used as leverage against countries engaging in unfair trade practices, such as dumping goods at artificially low prices or subsidizing industries to outcompete American companies. Now, regarding boosting government revenue, guys, I very strongly feel that tariffs generate revenue for the government, which can be reinvested in infrastructure, education, and other national priorities. And if you look at what is going on regarding Doge, guys, over $100 billion have already been saved. And Elon Musk did actually state, guys, there is a possibility to go ahead and save up to $1 trillion a year. And one of the idea that they throw in, guys, is that 20% will be given back to American citizens. The remaining 20% will be used to go ahead and reduce the deficit. Now, the big question is what happens to the remaining 60%? And this is where the genius of President Donald Trump kicks in once again. The remaining 60%, guys, he wants to go ahead and use it as expenditure for the following years, maybe even buy a lot of Bitcoin and put it as a strategic reserve. Now imagine, guys, that mainstream media does actually go ahead and talk about these things, which are 100% facts, by the way. What kind of an impression do you have regarding the administration? And if mainstream media starts covering this news, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be pumping up, isn't it? And that is one of the reasons, guys, I cannot stress enough. Make sure you go and look at information from the first source, and you'll be surprised, guys. 90 or 95% of information provided by mainstream media is completely fake news or incorrect information. Now let me go ahead and touch base on the final point, guys. That is how tariffs will actually go ahead and strengthen domestic innovation. Cause look, by shielding emerging industries from foreign competition, guys, tariffs can create an environment where US companies invest more in research, development and innovation, and we know that Apple is already committed to investing $500 billion over the next 5 years. So these are some of the benefits of imposing tariffs. Now, that thing being said, guys, tariffs do have some drawbacks, but they can be a strategic tool to support American businesses, workers, and long-term economic sustainability. Now, if mainstream media were to actually cover this news regarding tariffs, guys, I'm pretty much sure the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies would have pumped up, isn't it? Now, let me know, guys, if you agree to my assessment or not, and if you disagree to it, mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's go and touch base on some news regarding Circle, and things are definitely looking good for Circle, particularly in Japan. And Circle CEO, that is Jeremy Allaire, guys, did actually mention via X that USDC has become the first and only global dollar stablecoin to become approved for use in Japan, and SBIVC Trade, guys, is now a registered electronic payment provider under Japan's Financial Services Authority's new framework, and they plan to be the first to list USDC in the market. This, to be honest, guys, will definitely be a game changer, isn't it? And it is definitely a major step forward to trusted, fully reserved digital dollar in a regulated market. Now look, guys, I can confidently state, in the next 3 years or so, Circle USDC will be aggressively competing with Tether USDT, cause look, so far as compliance is concerned, guys, there are quite a lot of red flags regarding Tether USDT, and they're definitely not MiCA compliant as well. But so far Circle is concerned, they are 100% MiCA compliant. Now look, so far as regulation in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are concerned, I'm definitely not fans of it. But when you talk about stablecoins, guys, they're literally replacing the role of a bank. And keeping that thing in mind, I do think regulations are needed, particularly for stablecoin issuers. And in that area, guys, Circle USDC is definitely overtaking Tether USDT by a really long margin. Now, guys, let's go and discuss some interesting prediction by Michael Saylor. And Michael Saylor, guys, did actually share his prediction on March 3rd in an interview with CNBC. And he's actually stating that Bitcoin's market cap will grow from $2 trillion to $200 trillion as global capital flows into cryptocurrencies. And in that interview, guys, he also discussed Bitcoin's role in a potential US crypto reserve, and this was before President Donald Trump made the announcement, and he's actually emphasizing its economic benefits alongside with other digital assets. And Michael Saylor, guys, did actually argue that Bitcoin competes with global investment rather than US dollar, and could also help reduce national debt as well. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below, there's an entire interview. Please feel free to go and check it out. But $200 trillion is really a wild prediction, isn't it? But look, in the Bitcoin world, everything is possible. Because look, guys, when you talk about Bitcoin right now, not only is it competing with the US dollar, it is also competing with Euro, it is competing with Great British Pound, as well as a lot of fiat currency, isn't it? So I wouldn't be surprised if the market cap of Bitcoin does actually reach the $200 trillion mark. But really interesting prediction. Now, guys, let's go and discuss some positive news in the world of Security and Exchange Commission, which is completely bizarre, because under the Biden regime, guys, the US Security and Exchange Commission under Gary Gensler used to go after cryptocurrency companies, isn't it? Now, the first news, guys, is regarding Yuga Labs, and the Security and Exchange Commission, now under the Trump administration, has decided to end a 3-year probe into Yuga Labs. And Yuga Labs, guys, is a company that created the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they are celebrating a significant court win. And what is really important to note, guys, is without pursuing any enforcement measures, the US Security and Exchange Commission under the Trump administration has formally concluded its investigation into the company. Now, if you do need the official link, guys, the blog by Yuga Labs is in the show notes below. So definitely positive news. And not only that, guys, there's another massive win for the oldest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, that is Kraken. And they did actually publish a blog, and the blog actually titled "A Win for Fairness." And what the blog by Kraken Exchange states is that SEC has dismissed its case against Kraken with prejudice, meaning it cannot be reopened. This, to be honest, guys, is definitely a massive news, isn't it? And here's the interesting thing, guys. In the blog, they've clearly said it is an end of a politically motivated campaign. And historically, guys, I've always said this. When you talk about the left-leaning administration or Democrats, they're definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They want to go out and censor free speech. They want to be woke, and they're focusing on central bank digital currencies. Republican and right-wing ideologies, guys, on the other hand, they're definitely in favor of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? And they definitely are focusing on free speech as well. Now, regarding the SEC's decision regarding Kraken, guys, the decision imposes no penalties, requires no changes to Kraken's businesses, and includes no admission of wrongdoing by the company. And Kraken appreciates the new leadership at the White House and Commission that has led to this particular change. And this particular move, guys, is definitely a bold and thoughtful leadership under the Trump administration. Now imagine, guys, if mainstream media were actually covering this news, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should definitely be pumping up, isn't it? And this is one of the reasons, guys, I often say, try to go and look at information from first source, and you'd be surprised. Left-leaning mainstream media, they often put out misleading and fake news information. But look, Once you go ahead and take the red pill, guys, you will truly understand what is going on. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency world from blockchain DXB. Now let's go ahead and look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first newscast is regarding MarTech company Avanta, and they're expanding to Dubai, and they are bringing AI-powered personalized video solutions to United Arab Emirates. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this. And Avanta, guys, they're expanding to Dubai, and they are bringing AI-powered personalized video solutions to United Arab Emirates, and they are a Mumbai-based MarTech leader. And Avanta, guys, specializes in AI-driven hyper-personalized video engagement, and looks like they want to strengthen their presence in UAE. And this particular news, guys, does align with the regional digital transformation and innovation-driven economy, isn't it? Now, Avanta, guys, was founded a few years ago in 2023 by Karan Ahuja, Rupak Shah, Rajesh Groh and Rajat Tyagi, and they are essentially an AI-powered platform that drive personalization and localization, and they also work with CRMs, market automation and CPaaS tools for effortless scaling, and looks like they want to have early success in the UAE, and they've expanded BFSI clientele with AI Wadba and partnered with Ashta Healthcare as well. Now look, so far as Dubai is concerned, we have people from all over the world, isn't it? And looks like they want to enable Avanta to enhance multilingual video offerings, and they are serving key industries, guys, such as banking, insurance, healthcare, and telecom sector as well. And these industries, guys, will benefit from personalized videos. Now regarding the banking and insurance industries, guys, by using Avanta, you can custom financial insights, and policy updates can be enhanced as well. And you can also build on your customer relationship. And regarding healthcare benefits, guys, it does educate patients with tailored video content for better engagement. Now look, guys, I'm not seeing much of a difference with YouTube or TikTok, isn't it? But nonetheless, really interesting prospect. And regarding telecom solutions, guys, they are claiming that there will be AI-driven videos to improve customer interactions and communications. Now based on the news, guys, they do have a proven track record working with ICICI Bank, Bajaj Alliance, Canara HSBC Bank, Tata Mutual Funds and quite a lot of other companies, and they're definitely driving conversions as they want to ensure that every customer interaction is relevant, impactful and trust building. Now look, guys, this particular news definitely supports huge digital goals, contributing to regions' push for digital excellence, and they're also transforming personalized communication for enterprises worldwide. So really interesting news. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news all the way from Qatar. And Qadi Council, guys, they concluded Web Summit Qatar, making a successful event with key partnership and awards, and they signed two memorandum of understandings, guys. One was with the Ministry of Labor, and the second one was with ITCAN Clinical Simulation and Innovation Center. Now regarding ITCAN, guys, this particular memorandum of understanding focuses strengthening healthcare research and development initiative strategies, policies and research collaborations. And regarding Ministry of Labor memorandum of understanding, guys, the focus is on implementing blockchain-based certificates authentication for secure verification. Now the Web Summit Qatar, guys, there was also Rising Innovators Award, and they did recognize students pioneering research and innovative projects. And the first place was Modular Automatic Sorting Hub, also called as MASH, which was by Doha University of Science and Technology. And the second place was AI-powered Sharia Bot, which was by Hamad bin Khalifa University. An electronic medical triage system called as EMTS, which is from Whalecon in Medicine in Qatar. And Qadi Council, guys, also hosted a talk show on supporting research and development growth in Qatar's tech sector. And there was also a discussion around AI smart cities, guys. And at the Web Summit Qatar, they explored AI's role in shaping the future of urban development. And regarding startup and innovation ecosystem, guys, the theme was building capital innovation. And this session, guys, highlighted Qatar's startup journey. And they also have some really interesting partnership with Sweden, guys. And there's a deep tech collaboration between Qatar and Sweden, and looks like they want to connect startups and enterprises between the two nations. And look, as the QRD Council actively supports the Qatar National Vision 2030, and they are globally connected with locally empowered individuals. And the QRD Council, guys, aims to make Qatar a leading global innovation hub. And regarding economic diversification and RDI growth, guys, QRDI plays a key role in Qatar's national development strategy as well. And at the Web Summit in Qatar, there was public-private collaborations, and the summit did encourage partnership to enhance research, development, and innovation. Now look, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is go to the website, that is qrdi.org.qa, and you can get more access to the insights and research and innovation efforts that is currently taking place. So definitely interesting news. So these were the newscasts on the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB podcast. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Andrew who asks, with Bitcoin's market cap of $2 trillion, do you think Michael Saylor's $200 trillion prediction is realistic? Why and why not? Now look Andrew, me personally, I'm not a fan of Michael Saylor as such, and you always need to remember the only reason why he's doing these predictions is because he already has quite a lot of Bitcoin, and because the supply of Bitcoin is fixed, he wants to go ahead and increase the demand for it, isn't it? And that is the only reason why he's non-stop promoting Bitcoin, and he does go ahead and put out some really wild speculations. Now, according to me, that is definitely not right, because look, right now when you talk about Bitcoin, it is a play for multi-billionaires, celebrities, influencers, and trillion-dollar companies. Unfortunately, we can't do much about it. Now, historically, I've always said this, me personally, I'm not a fan of Michael Saylor as such, because when you talk about Bitcoin, he does often provide a lot of fake news as well as misleading information, but we won't get into this. But regarding his prediction, look, a lot of people, Andrew, have made some really wild predictions. One of the wildest predictions regarding the price of Bitcoin was by late John McAfee, and he did actually state that the price of Bitcoin will reach $1 million by 2020, and in 2020, the price of Bitcoin was below the $20,000 mark. So look, when you talk about predictions, I often say this, all price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time. Now, could it be possible that Bitcoin could reach $200 trillion? Definitely yes, but I definitely don't see that happening in the next 2 or 3 decades. It may happen sooner than that, but you also need to remember, Andrew, in the next coming years, what if we do find out new cryptographic tech, new way to create something which is better than Bitcoin? Now look, we can make an argument that Bitcoin has a first mover advantage, but what if artificial intelligence comes out with a much better form of money, which is not connected to, let's say, private key or public key? And if that supersedes the way how Bitcoin is perceived, you never know, the price of Bitcoin could fall down as well, and people can actually go and switch to the new form of currency, isn't it? So these are things you need to factor as well. But at the same time, look, Bitcoin is actually competing now with fiat currencies, and one thing recently I'm telling a lot of clients is, it is Bitcoin versus the US dollar, Bitcoin versus Great British Pound, Bitcoin versus fiat currencies, and maybe even Bitcoin versus gold. And the whole narrative regarding Bitcoin has changed because of BlackRock, and with President Donald Trump, who's a massive advocate of Bitcoin, even presidential candidates are becoming fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So there's a possibility of the market cap of Bitcoin to reach $200 trillion mark, maybe in $400 trillion or maybe even $600 trillion mark. But look, all price predictions are 100% right, 50% of the time, but definitely a good question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 am to 8:30 am, we have Blockchain DXB podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And we also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.